I finally traveled to a destination outside of the country. And boy, the first country that I've ever went to was an amazing way to start off my travel experience outside of the US. And so this destination that we went to is full of ancient history, not just for their country, but for our entire world. The landscape in this destination includes deserts, beaches, dams, rivers, mountains, and valleys. And I needed my sunglasses, of course, but it wasn't as hot as it normally would be if I would have went in the summer. So definitely going at the time of the year that we went was an amazing experience. So would you have been able to guess this destination based off of this information or information about the weather there as well? Because that's pretty much all the clues that we were able to get. I remember I had asked what famous people went there, but that didn't help me either because it was just a list of different names. And, those celebrities, they could have been to plenty of destinations. So I had no idea where we were going. So you already know by the title of this episode that it is Egypt. That is where we went. And if you would have told me years ago that on November 1st, 2022, I would have been on my way to Egypt, I would have laughed in your face. And I also would have been like, oh, I can't wait. Come on, come on. Like I would have been rushing the time just to get to this date.
You're listening to the Warrior Rulebook podcast with me, Monique Harmon. I love helping people express themselves, protect their peace, and be confident in being them. You may also know me as Pretty Nikki, who started her online journey as a modest fashion blogger. Now I'm an entrepreneur. You'll see through my experiences and the experiences of others that change is possible, improvement is tasty, and meaningful connection is transformational. Come on, share your story with me.
When I came back from Egypt, a lot of people asked me, how was Egypt? Not only that, while I was still there, people were asking me how it was. And the best way that I can describe it is it was amazing. Like it's not to be cliche or anything, but it really was amazing. It was an eye-opening experience. I learned so much and I felt at peace because I was able to just relax. I didn't have anything really expected of me other than to wake up early, to go to the different excursions and events. So it was just an amazing time just being able to take in something that I learned about in art history class. And as I look at old clips and old photos of me, I was able to ride a camel. That was amazing. When I first posted it on Facebook, some people thought it was photoshopped. And looking back at it, I can see how it did look photoshopped, but it wasn't. It was real. I was on a live, breathing camel. And when you're next to the camel, it's bigger than you. And so I'm thinking, like, is it going to bite me? But I was able to get on it. I wasn't too scared. I was more scared that I was going to fall off. So I was holding on to that piece of wood that you hold on to when you're on a camel for dear life because I knew if I fell, I probably was going to break something. But it was so cool. And the food was so good. Lamb chops, fried shrimp, falafel. Egyptian falafel does not taste anything like the falafel in the US, does not taste like the Mediterranean falafel. Granted, I haven't been to Greece or like how they make their falafel, the Mediterranean. So I don't know how they make theirs or if it tastes the same, but I haven't had it. So Egyptian falafel is really good. I had stuffed pigeon, and that might turn some people off, but in case you're wondering what it tastes like turkey and chicken at the same time. It was really good. The rice inside was delicious. me, I would have seasoned the outside of the pigeon a little bit more. But other than that, it was pretty good. I saw different fabrics. I was able to bring a couple of scarves home that were 100% Egyptian cotton, so very good material. Of course, they had their French fries. Thank God I have to say that because can't forget about the French fries. I'm really glad they have French fries over there. The food was really good. Just the seafood, that was like the highlight of the food experience for me. We also toured three cities. So we went to Cairo, Old Cairo, Hurghada, and Alexandria. And I don't want this podcast episode to be too long, but what I will say, some highlights in Cairo was that we were able to see the Nile. It's beautiful. We were able to see the pyramids. They were amazing. That's where I had my camel ride. I was able to see the Great Sphinx, even though I wasn't able to get as close as I wanted to. Also, we went to Old Cairo where there were a few couple churches. We went to the Hanging Church, which is on top of the two towers of Babylon. And we also went to this other church. I forget the name of it, but they said that Jesus, Joseph, and Mary hid there when they were running from Herod. I always want to make sure I say his name right. So hopefully I said his name right. The king that was trying to kill the infants or have the infants killed. So that was interesting just to see like the design and the architecture. We also toured a mosque. I was able to put on the Egyptian garb and see how some people were praying, what the inside of a mosque looks like. It's very open, it's very airy, it has different artifacts in there and things like that. And then we also went to Hurghada, where the Red Sea is, went to the beach. It's not the Red Sea that where God parted it, I believe, because I looked it up and it said where we were is the modern day Red Sea. So I think God had parted it a little bit more north. Don't quote me on that, but that is what I saw in my research. Then I went to Alexandria, and that has Greco-Roman influences. So it was like going to Greece and Rome at the same time. So that's where I saw Pompey's pillar, Diocletian. I think it's his pillar, but they just gave the name to Pompeii, apparently. So that was really nice. Like the views from the hotel was amazing. The hotel was amazing. It was just so pretty. I just love the architecture. And Lord willing, I will be posting a vlog on this. And if you're listening to this like months and years later, hopefully it's up by then and you'll just go to the description area to find the YouTube link because I really want you to see this. The clothing was very nice. I saw this different scarves and that was cool. Also, I want to talk about the old church as well. There were a lot of books that were preserved. So they look really old. And that was in Old Cairo. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. They also showed us the well they said that the Holy Family had drank from. Again, not sure how true it is, but that's what they said. Also, moving back to Alexandria, we did go to catacombs and we toured them and saw where some people were buried and the process of bringing the body into the catacombs. So that was kind of scary, kind of interesting, but we saw that. So overall, the trip was really, really good. I don't remember if I mentioned Sharshuka, but that is how my brain conceptualizes strombolis. But over there, it wasn't wrapped up in the traditional stromboli sense, but the meat and the cheese tasted pretty much the same or similar, I would say. And it was just really relaxing, just being able to rest a lot. I didn't go out that much. I went out a little bit more probably than I wanted to because I like to rest when I travel as well, but it was definitely worth getting up early and going and seeing the different sites. Also, I want to mention as well that the driving over there can kind of be compared to New York, but they do signal to other drivers with their hands or by honking, like, hey, I'm coming over into the other lane. So I thought that that was interesting as well. They know how to stop when something or someone immediately comes out into the street. So that was really good. And something interesting that I saw was that the bumpers. There was a shop that actually sold bumpers because they know that people are going to either have them fall off or damage because of the way that the driving is over there. Like there have been some pretty close calls, but it was pretty interesting just to see that. And they did have a downtown area where they were selling a lot of things, a lot of clothing for different occasions, a lot of neat stuff over there. I also was able to bring home some perfume. And it's not like the perfume that's in America where it's diluted with chemicals and other things. It was pure oil that smelled so good. And I'm so happy that I still have some left. It smells so amazing. And I was able to test out different fragrances and it doesn't have any chemicals in it. And the manager, I believe he was the manager, he lit fire to it and it did not spread. It did not, cause an accident or anything. So that was really fun too. And their perfume lasts for 10 years. Does your perfume last for 10 years? That's a question that I have. We were able to stop in Paris as well, which is one of the busiest airports in the world. The seating was plush, it was red. It just was so comfortable for our layover. So I really thank God for that because that was the most comfortable I've ever felt at any airport. Like I wasn't even comfortable at the Atlanta airport because I think the Atlanta airport is a little dirty. But yeah, like the Paris airport was just, it was so fun. Like that's the best way I can describe it. It was fun, it was clean, it was a great time. So be sure to check out my vlog on YouTube where you can see all of this. It was really hard to find a smoothie. I want to mention that as well. And I thank God that I was able to finally get a smoothie. It tasted so good because if you know me, you know I like icy drinks, and that was as close as I could get to crushed ice experience. So that was really good. I was able to see a castle in the distance. I wasn't able to go inside of it, but it was really nice to just see it from afar. Like the water was just so beautiful, just seeing different things on the water. That was really good. We were able to go inside of this kind of Greco-Roman amphitheater, which is kind of like the Colosseum. So that was really cool. And just seeing like the Roman baths. I want to make sure that I mentioned that the Roman baths, that was cool. I was like, wow, people actually bathed here. People went to school here. What? It was a university. It was just so fun. It was so fun. So I would really encourage you to get outside of the country, see how other people are living, see how they have evolved from history up to now. It was just an amazing time. And I'm so thankful that I was able to make it over there. Let me know. Have you gone somewhere outside of the country and what was your experience like? I want to leave you with this clip from my tour guide who was telling us about the Egyptian museum so you can kind of hear the sounds, what it was like to be in Egypt.
Because I know in the States you have a parking lot or something, but here in some buildings, but not in the old section, which is where Garden City. This street where we're going to take off to the museum, and as you know today we have a tour that includes the first thing we're going to start together with. We're going to start by the Egyptian Museum, which is a beautiful building, one of the oldest museums in the world, opened in 1901 by a French Egyptologist whose name is Auguste Mariette.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Warrior Rulebook podcast. If you like what you heard, share it with a friend and join me over at the Warrior Rulebook Podcast Insider group on Facebook. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more tips on how to be resilient in this world.